Welcome to LSB Feaster's Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
These guys are pretty serious, Larry. I know they are in the afternoon show. Let's do some school closings. Just for the heck of it, huh?
All schools are closed in Walworth County, Wisconsin, and everywhere else.
You kids get out there and vote today. Let's go.
25 past 6.
Music Radio,
WLS. Larry Lujack in the morning at 28 minutes past 6 o'clock. Gary Myers is here.
Hey.
Steve Dahl is... Steve Dawes is either en route or in bed.
Or in a coma. The wife's been out of town for a week. He has a hard time with that. Hey, this is nice. I'm standing over here in the corner where Grobstein is supposed to be. When does he do his first one?
If I were you, I would not get that close to that microphone.
No telling what you might pick up back there, Gary.
Because the whole morning news team is in here now, and I have to go back to Grobstein's microphone. And it's a swell setup they've made for him. They really like him over here, don't they?
Wait till Les shows up. You're going to be out in the hallway, baby.
Jeff just commented on how well you smell this morning, Gary.
Thank you, Jeff.
And I would like to echo that.
Real sweet-smelling guy. Cute, too. I've never seen him before. He was...
No, wait a minute.
What'd you say?
I saw you at a party New Year's Eve.
Jeff,
but I didn't know who you were.
You can't continue to make remarks about how attractive you think Brian Bashnigel is and how well...
I think this guy's even better looking than Brian, actually.
and how nice Gary smells without people thinking.
Hey, let him think. Yeah, I feel secure in what I am. And that's straight with a capital S.
Hey, for sure.
Letter to the editor of Tribune this morning about you news people from some guy in Skokie who writes, the extended coverage of John Hinckley's suicide attempt is a sad commentary on the media's appraisal of what constitutes worthwhile news. The hospital authorities who discovered Hinckley semi-conscious would have done us all a favor if they had just allowed nature to take its course.
Oh, my.
Hasn't John suffered enough?
Here's a good letter in, Yeah? Jeff is,
What are you doing over there?
scraping the golf course mud off his Levi's with his pocket knife. Wonder how many other newsmen in the city carry a pocket knife in their hands.
Probably not very many. Most of them probably carry sidearms in Chicago.
Of course, we know that when you're out there on the beat, you're taking your life in your hands, you news people. And,
That's right.
a lot of newsmen have been killed in the line of duty, and Jeff always wants to be prepared.
You could use it on a TV cameraman. They're so aggressive. I bit one yesterday.
Hey. Where?
On the arm.
Yeah. Dear Ann Landers, I'm writing in defense of the woman who undresses in the bathroom. She is in her 50s. I am in my 20s, but maybe we have the same problem. Len and I have been married nearly 3 years. He is in his early 30s. Lately, I have learned that the only safe place to undress is in the bathroom with the door locked. Here is the reason. No matter what he is doing, reading, watching TV, eating, or talking on the phone, whenever he sees me unbutton my blouse or remove a shoe, he stops everything and takes over the unbuttoning, unzipping, whatever. You can guess the rest. Even when he is in bed, and I am sure he is sound asleep, he suddenly springs to life and goes into action. I am not a cold person, Anne, but my interest in sex is not nearly as intense as his. The man can't seem to get enough. Please say you understand. I mentioned this once to a friend, and she told me I was nuts. Some woman in Davenport, Iowa. To which Anne replies, Dear Dav.
I love Anne. She's so wonderful.
Most women would say you have high-class worries, dear, but apparently his sexual appetite is greater than yours, and you need more rest. What a man doesn't see can't arouse him.
The Puritans knew what they were doing, those high-collar dresses.
I guess Anne expects
long
this
flowing skirts.
woman to sleep fully clothed or something, or sleep in the garage. It's 6:32. On the news, next, have a report on the earthquake in California. Update on the tragic tortilla shortage. Plus other stories, Les Grobstein with sports. A look at rush hour traffic coming up in a few minutes.
Let's declare a winner. Let's go.
Okay, you news authorities, the polls have been open for 33 minutes. Whom do you project as the winner of the Democratic
And your projection is late by television standards.
mayoral primary?
Well, my money in the City Hall press room pool is on Jane Byrne by 18,000. My guess.
$18,000?
Votes. Oh, had to pick the number of votes that the candidate was going to win by.
Did you get in on that, Catherine?
I did not. I wasn't at City Hall. I was traipsing around the Northwest Side with Richie yesterday.
Do you think, Jeff, that a responsible journalist
Should bet on the outcome of an election?
and broadcast it at 6:33 when the polls have been over in half an hour?
This is just my personal opinion. It has no bearing on the outcome of the
This isn't
election.
Poland, Larry. We can do this.
This is betting. This ain't Poland.
Of course, driving in this morning, I was not sure. I saw more babushkas than I've seen in about 2 years. They all come down early. Where do they work, those ladies with the babushkas? Are they postal employees?
Do you think John Gacy's endorsement of Richard Daley will have any outcome whatsoever on the election? Jeff?
I wasn't aware of John's endorsement.
Yeah, he did.
The Duke endorsed Rich. Huh?
Songs coming up by Manfred Mann, REO, and Animal Stories, and possibly Steve Dahl's arrival in the next half hour here at WLS.
It's 6:34. Good morning. I'm Jeffrey Hendricks.
But I'm Catherine Johns, WLS News. Not a bad voting day. Kind of cloudy, but with a high of 45.
The polls have been open about 34 minutes now, and Chicagoans are about the business of electing themselves a mayor and 50 aldermen. And for the first time in history, federal officials, including U.S. Marshals and FBI agents, are assisting local election officials in guarding against vote stealing. Getting in some closing shots yesterday, Congressman Harold Washington accused Mayor Byrne of injecting racism into the campaign. This was Mayor Byrne's response.
I don't approve of that. I have never approved of that. I have worked hard in the black community. I will be back in the black community today. I don't think it's good for Chicago. I don't think racism in any flavor is good for Chicago.
The winner of today's primary will meet Republican Bernard Epton in the general election on April 12th. Epton is running today unopposed. The news brought to you by your Gallerman of Olds.
Do-it-yourself ballot protection coming up. But I'm Catherine Johns, WLS News.
Larry Lujack, WLS.
6:39.
There she was,
WLS first with the best new albums, and we've got copies of the new Duran Duran album, Rio. Listen for your chance to call in and win a free copy. Starting this afternoon after 3 o'clock with Tommy Edwards on AM 89 and with Stephen Friday this afternoon on FM 95. Super fast-paced show you got here, Larry. Yeah, we got a lot of business to take care of. Jeez, in the morning.
Hey, here comes Les. That's on tape, the first one. I don't imagine I've ruined anybody's day by telling that secret.
Probably Les's.
He looks real enthused, too.
Les is usually under some form of spiritual sedation when he shows up for work, and I think this morning is no exception.
Well, sports is a very serious thing, Larry, and thank God he's doing it.
It's 18 before 7. Animal Stories coming up in about 10 minutes. REO song next.
Zelda, just remember, if we call and ask the name of your favorite radio station, make sure you say WLS.
39 degrees at Midway, 35 at O'Hare, north wind at 5 miles an hour, cloudy sky at the lakefront downtown, 37 degrees. In Chicago, it's 6:46 at WLS. It's 11 minutes before 7, and let's get that music out of the way. Time to say the WLS, the station for the concerts, welcome some...
Steve gets here. Is this working?
Big, famous rock and roll band to somewhere. You guys got any concerts coming up?
Yeah, but we can't talk about what happened. I can't hear myself.
No, get up there.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, it's so complicated up here.
How come you can't talk about it?
Well, that's a long story. Boy, people get here early enough? Why is she here at 10 to 7?
I didn't see who it was. Who was it?
Cindy? Does she have a job that's that important that has to be started at 6:50?
She, might have had an overnighter downtown.
She was to sneak in and get her makeup on, yeah.
I don't like to pry into their personal life, but you noticed her clothes were rather wrinkled. How come you can't talk about your concert?
Well, remember that meeting we had with Scum and Lipschitz about 10 days ago?
Yeah.
It was brought up in the meeting that we had to strike some kind of compromise on that end. We're being watched over for the next few weeks. And if we're good boys, we get to talk about our concerts. If we're not good boys, we'll just talk about them and then see what happens anyway. But we can't. But check your local paper.
So I'm not even allowed to mention those Park West gigs?
Well, you can. You can.
I can't find my concert sheet, though.
It's, I believe, next month. What 2 days come after the 17th?
18th and 19th?
Sounds like those concerts, yeah.
And for all the latest concert information, you can always call the official concert line at WLS 3333. Laurie Lujack in the morning.
That's a free call, by the way.
Garry Meyer, and we're still awaiting the arrival, which is probably imminent, of the Stever.
Yeah, Dan, you might want to go get some Jack Daniels just to get him going.
Animal stories following these messages, 6:51.
Presenting Alligator, United Florida, is on WFLD, Channel 32.
WLS radar weather, mostly cloudy and mild today with a high somewhere in the low to mid-40s. There's also a 40% chance of rain tomorrow, mostly sunny. Or no, there's a, let's see, mostly cloudy and mild today, high 45. There's a 40% chance of rain later on today.
Yeah, and Harold Washington is going to get 80% of the black vote. That's what you're confused with.
Yeah, I got that mixed up.
And if you're on the Eisenhower and you see a guy in a dune buggy with the steering wheel in the macho position, that's Steve. Would you let him by, please?
Mostly sunny tomorrow with little change in temperature and a high again in the middle 40s, according to the extended forecast. Highs in the 40s for the rest of the week. It's 5 minutes before 7. Here we are again, the Animal Stories news team anchormen. Here's me, your charming and delightful. Oh, look over there. There's him. In person. Little snot-nosed Tommy. Hi, Tommy.
Hi, Uncle Larry. Hi, everybody.
Just got 2 stories today, little Tommy, but they're both real good stories. And they're both real disgusting. This first one was sent to us by Animal Stories correspondent Walter Arnold of Bethesda, Maryland.
Wow.
Got this out of some Maryland paper. I think in both of these stories, I'm going to tell you the stories the way they're written.
Okay.
But there's a couple of terms used in these stories that the engineers are going to have to bleep out. Okay, so you little Tommy will hear the actual word. The rest of you will just hear a bleep. Headline of this first one says, Dog castrator won't appeal. A man sentenced to 45 days in jail for castrating a dog while the dog was mating.
What?
As decided to serve out his remaining time in jail rather than appeal the case. Says here, little Tommy, the guy was a 32-year-old tow truck driver. He was convicted of animal cruelty.
Yeah,
Seems he came home one day. He had this big husky dog, female. She was tied to a post outside the house. Found this big stud Labrador locked in a romantic embrace with her.
Yeah?
And he's charged with cutting off the Labrador's... And this is while the actual mating is going on.
Oh, what a nightmare.
He claimed he did what he did because he feared the Labrador was killing his dog, which, I don't understand that. I can understand if it was some little bitty dog.
You said it was a husky, right?
Yeah, So, if it was a Labrador and some little bitty dog, I could understand his concern, but,
Maybe she was groaning or something.
I think he misinterpreted the groans. Says, in sentencing, the district court judge said this guy might be eligible for an award as the meanest man in the world. I mean, you can imagine for that poor Labrador. Unbelievable.
Oh, gee.
Here's another story, little Tommy. This woman doesn't want her name on the air because it involves one of her friends, and although she's not too fond of some of the things that her girlfriend does. She doesn't want to lose her friendship, so she doesn't want her name on the air.
Anything gonna be bleeped out?
More highly acclaimed, world-renowned animal stories with your charming and delightful old Uncle Larry.
And sidekick Low Tommy.
Until then, this is both of us
Him and me.
saying...
So long. Goodbye.
WLS.
7 o'clock in Chicago, WLS-AM and FM. Larry Lujack in the morning. Gary Meyer is here. And Steve Dahl expected shortly.
He wants to make a grand entry.
I know.
The star is never on time.
He sends in his advance man to check for bombs, and then his sidekick shows up, and Steve will be here.
Well, don't rush, Steve. We're doing fine without you.
It's all image, you know.
Hey.
That's what showbiz is.
That's right. It's not what you are, it's how the public perceives you.
That's right. Frankly, I would have lost all respect for him if he'd have been here at 6 o'clock like he was supposed to be. You know. On the news next, we'll find out how the candidates spent their last few hours before the beginning of the election, plus other news. Les Grobstein with sports. Have a look at rush hour traffic from the helicopter. Songs coming up by Bob Seger and Billy Joel and John Lennon. And Larry Lujack's award-winning cheap, trashy showbiz reports in about 20 minutes here at WLS.
It's 7:02. Good morning. I'm Jeffrey Hendricks.
And I'm Catherine Johns, WLS News. Cloudy election day with a high of 45.
Well,
I think.
I wish you.
Let's be honest.
Did that before I came all the way down here.
Let's be honest. I think you guys are being forced to be on this show.
No,
That's not
true.
You've been here at WLS for how long?
2 years tomorrow.
In the WLS family? Really?
2 years tomorrow. Yeah. Kind of like being in the Manson family.
You've never expressed any interest whatsoever in getting up early in the morning and coming down here and doing a little guest shot. Now, why all of a sudden after this big 3-hour meeting, you suddenly show up? It's just hard for me to believe that you guys are really
That's
that
the kind of
interested
guys
in...
we are.
Yeah, full
We're
of
just
surprises.
beautiful guys.
Yeah.
I guess we never realized it until that meeting, how beautiful we really were.
Tomorrow we're going to be on Fred's show.
When is the big appearance on Slim's show? That's the one I want to hear.
Ooh, well, whenever she invites us, and I think it's going to happen soon.
Yeah. We'd be a little afraid to work with her, I think, because she's pretty good, and we'd probably feel inadequate, not only as broadcasters, but as men.
In that order, yeah. But nobody forced us, really. We decided on our own.
Really? Swear to God.
Yeah, sure.
My wife's pregnant, Larry. I've already got one child. Well, you know about child support.
Yes, I do.
Of course, I plan on having mine live with me for a while, but...
Ooh. From some of the phone conversations that I've heard on the show lately between you and Janet, that could be in jeopardy, that whole situation.
There's a problem there.
Yeah. You see, your problem is that showbiz is your life. And,
it's not yours, Larry?
No, it sure as hell isn't.
I think golf is his life.
That's right. I just kill time until Saturday, and this is just something to kill time between golf matches. That's how I regard this job. But, Steve, showbiz is your whole life, and I can tell that it's putting a strain on that relationship, and I worry about it. I often lay awake at nights wondering...
With Janet.
Yeah, when she's in town, which is about 1 month out of the year now.
Well, I can just tell we're going to have a lot of fun. We've got camaraderie going here, good fellowship,
Good coffee.
good music, good coffee.
Well, 1 out of 3.
Interesting commercials. Hey, it don't get no better than this, guys.
What I found out this morning is they have a coffee machine up here that you can either pay for or you can get it free. It's your choice. And I think Les pays for it. He doesn't want to take advantage of the situation.
He's in humiliation and bondage.
Look where he has to stand to do his sports. Look at it. Isn't that nice?
It's appropriate.
Yeah. Nice
Okay.
stopwatch hooked to it.
We're going to give Steve a chance to wake up and eat breakfast here. And we'll be...
my breakfast? The Idaho Spud?
Yeah, Cindy was out in Idaho, and that's the only place they sell that kind of candy bar.
I know this candy bar.
Yeah, they're good candy bar.
I named my dog after this candy bar. Spud. I did.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating story. You might want to use it on animal stories
And I wish we had more time to hear the complete details. But we're already a little behind, Steve, so we'll be right back in just a second here at 7:13. WLS.
We can get the hang of it sooner or later. We're not
Is this right? Is this how I turn this on?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on right now.
WLS.
That's right.
Hello.
AM and FM.
Oh, and delay because why can't I hear my mic isn't open. Okay.
Good. Boy, did you see a lot of dead people driving down this morning? I did.
Getting ready to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was at the Harold Washington rally till late last night. That's where I was.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know, I just can't stop singing We Shall Overcome once I start. So, gosh darn it, we're behind already a half hour.
At least.
And I just got here.
Yeah.
I feel pretty sorry for you. You have a lot of things that you have to do. This is like all too real.
Yeah. How do you put up with
Well, it's a great radio tradition that morning drive must sound like a cluttered mess. And this is, real clutter.
You got to drop the music, Larry, that's all. Just drop it.
I think that was the last song we played this morning.
Hope you liked it.
Okay.
7:20.
It was a good song.
We're going to try to get caught up here. We're going to take a couple of phone calls here.
A couple more school closings? Okay. No problem.
20 past 7.
Good news today. It's a ground round.
You get a whole lot more at the ground round.
Hello?
Hello, is this Liz Osborne of Tinley Park?
Yes, it is.
Liz, what is your favorite radio station?
WLS. Who is this? I'm at work. Everyone's looking at me. Who is this?
Well, this is WLS, and you have won the Ultimate Cruise for 2, Liz.
I have not. Who is this?
Yes, you have won.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I am certain.
I am
Liz, I
certain.
can tell you right now that you're going to be going down to the Caribbean on the SS Norway. You're going to be down there for a week.
Are you kidding?
It's all
Nice
free.
voice.
Who is this really? I did not win a trip. Who is this? Are you sure?
Do you have your WLS card with you?
Yes, I do.
Well, dig it
You
out.
can break
for a
into
moment.
apartment buildings with
I
it.
don't believe this.
All right?
Okay.
701
Yes.
6929.
Hey, that's my number.
You're kidding.
Some got duplicated.
It's all furnished by the world-class SS Norway and Delta, and you have indeed won it, Liz.
Oh, my God.
No wonder everybody looks at her at the
Call
office.
and ask
Daly's
the name
mom,
of
isn't
your
it?
favorite radio station. Make sure you say WLS.
It's 24 minutes past 7. WLS radar weather mostly cloudy and mild today. 40% chance of rain and a high somewhere in the low to mid 40s. Hi, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hi.
I don't know whatever made Lippincott think the whole country was ready to hear these guys, but I'm glad he did.
The
I
whole
used to live
country.
down in Evanston, and now I live in Appleton, Wisconsin, which is about 200 miles into the frozen north. And
Watch it.
I kind of miss hearing Steve and Garry, although I can hear you, Blair, all the time.
That's right. We got a call from Dan's girlfriend in Macomb. She's listening. You can pick the AM up all over
Everywhere.
She's listening and pregnant.
Yeah.
That's the word I got.
the place. The AM's like your first wife. You can pick it up just about anywhere.
Right.
So I believe you had a question?
Yeah, I saw Steve and Garry on Entertainment Tonight a couple of weeks ago, and there was some mention of an album coming out. And I
Is this are you a male or a female?
female?
Female.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Because
If you were a male, I would suggest like a Renee Richards kind of thing. But okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
An album coming out.
You know, it's funny that you'd mention that because Larry, I just happened to bring some cuts from that forthcoming.
Well,
They happen to be sitting right behind us over here.
If we get time, I'd sure like to play some of those cuts, Steve, but we're so busy.
We're already 2 hours behind now.
What was the question? I forgot what the question was about the album.
I just wondered where it's going to be available for purchase.
In Appleton.
In Appleton. At a record store, I would imagine. Do you have record stores there?
I think
Or just Apples?
I think they just have they got the tavern and the gas
Well,
station
there's a lot of
Place to buy knit hats.
and the feed store. Probably they'll be in Appleton. They'll be at the feed store.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah, hey there.
Now, do you
Over
have
there by the
like a
feed
mail
store.
order thing like you did for the Animal Stories albums or anything like that?
I don't know.
I'm sure we'll cover all those bases, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not that organized.
I believe that.
Hey.
Well, that's part of
I
your
say we
charm,
keep
Steve.
this person on the phone as long as we can and really run up her message units. She's already
that's right.
spent
How
about
long-
$15.
Yeah. How long have you been on hold?
Oh, I don't know, probably better part of 10 minutes.
Okay, well, it'll be on sale sometime somewhere, so watch
Soon,
for
in
it,
a few
okay?
weeks, and it will be in record stores everywhere.
Everywhere, great.
Yeah, okay.
Glad to hear it. Thanks.
Thanks for calling. Bye. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, Steve. Steve Dahl there?
Yes,
You should
he is.
say hi to Larry first, though. It's like protocol, you know.
Okay. Hi, Larry.
Hi.
Hi, Steve. Listen, everyone in Milwaukee and all the in people who go to Park Avenue, Milwaukee's hottest nightclub.
Oh,
love
come
your-
on.
We're
Come
big in
on.
Wisconsin, Larry.
Love your Falklands video.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at the bar the other night, and we were all thinking, what could he do as a takeoff? And we thought, well, how about the Go-Go's and their song, You Got the Beat? Would you do one on that?
That's why he lives in Milwaukee.
Larry, who's your producer? Who screens these calls?
Yeah, hey. I wasn't even listening to the guy. What did he say? What did he say?
It doesn't matter. I
You know,
don't
you look
get it.
so
He's-
cute in your little beaver suit. You know, you see him on TV, and he comes in, he takes the big head off, and then he has a little beaver suit on, and then he puts his feet up on the desk and drinks coffee. That's what he's doing right now, just like on the TV commercial.
Oh, okay.
Except he gets a little gamey in the beard.
Well, Steve, are you going to do another video?
I don't know. If this is too early for...
I'm sorry, sir. The question you've asked is too hard. You should have made it multiple choice. But thanks for calling.
Okay.
Okay, bye. It's 20...
I don't know what the question
I don't
was
either. It's 28 minutes past 7.
A handsome executive-style travel bag. A totes umbrella.
First, backed up again from Cermak into 18. The Edens Expressway, you'll find it crawling from Toohey to Peterson due to a gaper's block to a disabled truck on the outbound side. A 15-minute drive from Dempster on into Montrose. That's WLS Skyview traffic.
Based on consumer preference tests, the Gillette Good News disposable razor with True Value hardware stores and home centers.
It's 7:31.
The WLS AM/FM morning news team has entered Studio A.
Man, this is too heavy.
Just reminds me, we missed completely the Chief Trashy Showbiz report, which should have been
Oh, my God.
15 minutes ago. However, we'll do that in the next half hour.
Les is at his little stand, all ready to go.
I
Very
think we're ready for the latest news from around the nation and the world.
Now, at home, I always picture that Catherine sits on Jeffrey's lap. Is that true? Will I see that?
No, I sit on Larry's lap.
Les sits on Jeff's lap.
Okay, well, we have to move now because...
Very professional.
Yeah.
Except today, Les, you're not going to sit on my lap today.
Or any other...
Whoa!
Well, Les isn't as secure as Jeff in his virility and manhood.
I don't know why. Well, should we leave now?
Hang around. There's enough room in here.
Okay, we got the news and the sports, and after that will be songs. Probably not going to have any songs. We might play one song by Journey if we get time. And Chief Trashy Showbiz report coming up in the next half hour here at WLS.
It's 7:32. Good morning. I'm Jeffrey Hendricks.
And I'm Catherine Johns, WLS News. Kind of cloudy, mild today with a high of 45.
Congressman Harold Washington spent the final hours of his campaign last night.
The AP has those two clubs in reverse order. Kentucky is 10th. Both polls rate Ohio State 15th and Iowa 17th.
Get serious, Les!
Loyola got 27 from Al Frederick Hughes and 20 from Andre Battle. They held off Xavier 86-85 at Alumni Gym. Hughes was in foul trouble early, but the Ramblers held on to the lead to the delight of Coach Gene Sullivan.
A lot of people have been saying we're a one-man team, and we had to go without him the whole first half. I think we were 3 ahead when he went out, and 4 ahead when he went halftime. So we played pretty well without him. Everybody's been saying we got to have Rick in there to play. Don't like it. Got 3 fouls. Got an awful lot of charging fouls. Some of them were.
Battle's second half shooting kept Loyola in front.
I just hit the open shot, so I just took the open shot whenever I had it. They were kept on doubling up on Calvin, putting the pressure on Calvin, and they left me open, so I just took the shot that I had open.
Illinois State beat West Texas 74-59. Hank Cornley with 20. Notre Dame routed Akron 80-45. John Paxson had 24 for the Irish. Southern Miss over Western Illinois 85-69, and Southwest Missouri beat Eastern Illinois 82-75. DePaul has received a verbal commitment from 6'9" forward Dallas Comegys out of Philadelphia, considered the top player from that area since Gene Banks, who went to Duke. The Bulls will host the Denver Nuggets and the NBA's leading scorer Alex English at the stadium tonight. In hockey, Toronto 4, Pittsburgh 2, Buffalo and New Jersey tied at 4. The Blackhawks host the Islanders tomorrow night at the stadium. They still lead the North Stars by 8. Jim McMahon of the Bears selected NFC Rookie of the Year by UPI. Al Raboski has been invited to the White Sox training camp in Sarasota as a non-roster player. The Mad Hungarian was with Atlanta last year. Mary Decker Tab wins the Sullivan Award as the top U.S. amateur athlete for 1982, beating out out the likes of Alberto Salazar. Pato Marhetic and Brett Hall will represent the Sting in tonight's Major Indoor Soccer League All-Star game at Kansas City. The 7-2 daily double at Hawthorne paid $54.60. Les Grobstein, WLS Sports.
You guys got any questions about the sports?
Yeah, 8 nuclear warheads pointed toward Chicago, and he's serious about whoever. Dallas. What's his last name?
Comegys.
All right.
Well, Ray Meyer's serious about him.
Then we better be serious about him.
It's 7:38.
WLS radar weather, mostly cloudy and mild today with a chance of showers. Cloudy and cool tonight. Today's high 45. The low tonight 35.
That's what it is right now, 35 in Chicago. The news brought to you by the Chicago Tribune. We're starting Sunday. You can be one of the 100 weekly winners in Magic Zingo. I'm Jeffrey Hendricks.
And I'm Catherine Johns, WLS News.
Larry Lujack, Larry Lujack, WLS.
21 minutes before 8.